Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
We go back to wartime, February 18th, 1945, but a show that has nothing to do about the war, although it is scary. The show is The Weird Circle. The episode name, The Oblong Box. This originally broadcast February 18th, 1945.
The Weird Circle. In this cave by the restless sea, we are met to call from out the past stories strange and weird. Bellkeeper, toll the bell, so all may know we are gathered again in the Weird Circle. Phantoms of a world gone by speak again the immortal tale, the Oblong Box.
There, Captain. There she is.
Hand me your glass. Aye. 5 aboard. Very well, turn about. We'll drop line and take them on.
Aye, sir.
Stand by the mainsail! Longboat sighted northeast! Lifelines on up!
You make out what ship she's from?
Too far, Captain. She's American, though.
Aye.
We'll soon be on them.
Mate, if the captain's with them, send him up to my cabin.
Aye, sir.
Take in the mainsail! Easy now, don't run him under! Heave to!
That's about all, Captain. We've been at sea in the longboat for 2 days when you sighted us. Just about done in. My friend here, Mr. Allen, was the only passenger to survive.
You say you're from the packet ship Independence, eh?
Aye.
What cargo were you carrying?
Cotton, a little hemp, and some timber.
I see. And that was all?
Aye. Did you happen to pass some drift, Captain?
We did. But nothing you just spoke of. Would you care for a little more grog, gentlemen?
Thank you.
And you, sir?
Yes. Yes, please.
No, we passed nothing adrift that you mentioned, but we did hoist aboard something rather strange, you might say. It may not have come from your ship, though. Could only make out the port of embarkation and the date. Charleston, South Carolina. August the 2nd, 1881.
That was our port. That was our date of sailing.
Captain, what was it you took aboard?
2 bodies. Passengers, I suppose. A man and a woman. Rather unusual, though. The woman was in a coffin. An oblong box. You seem startled, Mr. Allen.
I am. And the man?
That's the strange part. He was lashed to the coffin by an inch-thick rope. From your reaction, Mr. Allen, I presume you know something about the box?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Then, Mr. Allen, suppose you relate the entire story.
Very well. To tell you the truth, Captain, I'd intended telling no one. You see, as Captain Hardy told you, the dead man had been a friend of mine. I'd hoped the the sea would keep its dead. The man whose body you found tied to that oblong box was an artist from New York. His name was Cornelius Wyatt. As I remember, Wyatt had been married only a few months when I met him quite by accident. It was at our port of sailing, Charleston. I had been on board only a few minutes when I heard his voice calling me by my first name. I was quite surprised to see my old friend.
Edgar Allen, hello there.
Wyatt! Why, heavens, man. How are you?
Oh, it's good to see you. How long has it been?
Oh, a good year since I saw you last, at least. Let's see. Yes, since 1877.
Of all the places to meet you.
Now, tell me, Wyatt, is your wife aboard?
My wife? Oh, yes.
Good. More people have raved about her astounding beauty to me than I could possibly count. I've sworn to see her with my own eyes. Where is she?
I'm sorry, Edgar. I'm afraid that would be impossible. You see, she's ill in her cabin.
Oh, what a shame. Well, then, later, I'm sure
No. Really, I think she'll remain in bed for the rest of the trip. Her health wouldn't permit it.
Oh, come, Wyatt. You wouldn't cheat me of this chance to meet your beautiful wife. The CL do her good. Or is it because you're jealous of such beauty? Huh?
Please keep that remarks to yourself. My wife's appearance should be of no concern to you.
Oh, but Wyatt, I was only joking. I meant no harm.
Your humor is not appreciated, Mr. Allen.
Well, forgive me. I assure you I meant no harm.
I beg pardon, sir. You, Mr. Wyatt?
Yes?
That there box of yours, you're having it shipped in the hold?
Confound it, man. How many times must I give these instructions? My cabin, you understand? It must be put in my cabin. Must I tell the captain himself?
Sorry, sir, but there's hardly any room for such a large box in your
I don't care how little room there is. That box will go into my cabin if I have to move it there myself.
Very well, sir. Sorry, sir.
Confounded fools. Must I beg them to carry out my instructions?
Is that the box?
Excuse me, Mr. Allen. The clumsy fools may drop it. I'd better watch them. I'll see you later.
Although at the time I was surprised by my friend's sudden outburst, I passed it off to temperament. After all, he was an artist. At the moment, I was more concerned over the oblong box than over my friend. It bothered me quite a bit. I couldn't find a reason for his being so overwrought over the placement of a cumbersome large wooden box. And furthermore, I couldn't find a reason for his use of one that shape. It was about 6 feet long and 2.5 feet wide. To me, its contents were a mystery. At first, I excused it as containing a number of his precious paintings. About 3 days out of Charleston, I met Wyatt again. He was walking about the deck. As I approached him, he cordially offered me his hand.
Hello there.
Hello, Wyatt.
Edgar, I believe I owe you an apology.
Apology?
Yes, you must forgive the way I acted the day before we sailed. I'm not as well as I should be.
Oh, think nothing of it.
Here, let's sit here. That's it. I'm under a severe strain, Edgar. Perhaps I should tell you. You are my friend. I should tell someone.
Why, of course.
What others have told you about my wife is true. She is beautiful. Very beautiful. I'm afraid too beautiful.
Yes?
I was one of many, many suitors. I was the fortunate one. Why, I don't know. She doesn't love me, Edgar.
Are you sure she doesn't love you?
Yes, I'm sure, very sure. Since I've been married, she's done her utmost to make me jealous. She knows how I worship her beauty. She knows her power. Men have always loved her for it. They still do. I know, Edgar. I'm suffering because of it. There are men today who would give anything for my wife's hand. Anything. She knows it. She taunts me with it continuously. The way she looks at me, laughs at me.
You're in love with her?
Desperately.
And you'd never give her up?
Never.
And she knows this?
Of course. That's why she taunts me.
Well, perhaps if I could see her.
No. She's still ill.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This trip. You know why I'm going to Canada? Do you know why?
Paintings?
I'm taking her away. Away from all those men. She'll learn to love me. I'll make her. I'll keep her beauty for myself.
Perhaps this is an extreme.
Extreme? No, it's the only thing to do. You don't know the torture I've suffered. Well, let's talk no more about it. I feel better now.
As you wish.
You will keep my confidence?
Oh, without question. Now, how's your painting coming, Wyatt?
I haven't touched a brush in months.
But the canvases you brought aboard, weren't they yours?
Canvases?
I suppose they were in the large box you have in your cabin.
Why do you suppose that?
Well, because of its unusual size.
That box doesn't concern you. It's none of your business.
I didn't say that I...
Don't ever mention that box again. I forbid you. You hear? Don't ever mention that box again.
Perhaps I've been too hasty, Captain. Perhaps the man just isn't well physically. Well, the box, it could contain something unimportant. I think I was overly curious, that's all. I've known him for a long while, you know. He's always appeared perfectly normal before.
And everything's been all right lately?
For the past few days, yes. He's been perfectly cordial.
And I think perhaps it's best we pass over the entire matter. There's probably some logical, some simple story behind what's happened.
Here, more port?
No, thanks. I think it's best I be getting back to my cabin. Looks as though there's an unhealthy storm brewing along the coast. I'd best get back.
Oh, I noticed it getting a little rough. Will it hit us?
I can't tell yet. Well, good night, Mr. Allen. Perhaps you'll join me at dinner tomorrow night, eh?
Thank you, Captain. I'd be... Listen.
What?
Shh. I thought I heard... Listen. Again.
Nothing. I hear nothing. The wind, that's all. The events have made you a little nervous, I suppose.
No, wait. I'm sure I heard something strange. Groaning or something from out there.
Well, open the door. It's probably the ship's cat.
Captain, here, quickly!
The passageway's black. The steward probably took the lantern to...
Listen. Again. Hear it?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do.
It came from the darkness down there to the end of the passageway.
Somebody's in trouble. Who has the stateroom at the end of the passageway?
I think Wyatt. The first two are empty.
Well, come along. Pull your cabin door closed.
I'll get a lamp. The darkness...
No, I know my way. We may need the darkness.
Very well.
Stay close. The first two, you say, are empty?
Yes.
And this one you believe is Wyatt's?
It should be.
I'll stand here a moment. I'll listen again.
A knocking. Tapping.
I'll try this latch. I'll open it as quietly as possible.
There's no light under the door.
Stand back.
Easy now.
What? Blast it. It's locked from the inside.
Well, someone is definitely in there.
I am going to knock. Now listen closely. Someone is in there. You heard it?
Hello in there. Is that you, Wyatt? This is Ellen. Anything wrong? Hello there.
Huh. No answer. I don't like this. Open the door, Wyatt. It's the ship's captain. I'll be forced to break in. Here, help me. Help me as I count three.
Go on.
1, 2. Ready now. 3.
Where are you, Wyatt?
Wait. There's a lantern by the port. I'll strike a light. Stand here and... Empty. The room is empty.
February 18th, 1945, The Weird Circle on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or if you just have a plan you're not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called MediShare. There are hundreds of thousands of members, and they love it. MediShare has a 98% customer satisfaction rating, and this is obviously huge. The typical family saves around $6,000 a year switching to MediShare. Find out more. They're great to talk to. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
The MyPillow.com clearance continues. Roll and go anywhere. MyPillow's $9.99. The Body Pillow $39.99. And MyPillow bath sheets on sale 50% off. Use my promo code USA. Go to MyPillow.com/radio specials. You'll also get a free copy of Mike Lindell's book. MyPillow.com/radio specials. Use promo code USA or 1-800-951-8175. You're listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, and now more of The Weird Circle. February 18th, 1945, The Oblong Box.
moment, both of us stood there, in the gloom of Wyatt's cabin. We were sure somebody had been there but a moment before. We'd heard them. And now the cabin was apparently empty. The door had been locked from the inside. Nobody could have left the room without our seeing them. Then suddenly Captain Hardy pointed to the right wall of the cabin. There in the dimness of the gloomy shadows.
Alan, this cabin and the one beside it are adjoined. Now, let me get the light and see if the adjoining door has been opened. Whoever left in a hurry. Here, Alan. Give me a hand. I can't reach the lantern. Blast it!
Hardy!
All right. Just stumbled over this blasted box. My hand.
The oblong box.
Excuse me, gentlemen. I didn't mean to intrude.
Wyatt!
May I come in? There's another lamp on the table. Allow me, Captain Hardy.
But where did you come from? How did you get into the passageway when
That's better. Mr. Allen, I have been walking my wife on deck. May I introduce you? Oh, you may come in, Marjorie. Marjorie, this is Mr. Allen, the man who desired to meet you so much, and the captain of this vessel, Captain Hardy.
How do you do?
You do.
And now, gentlemen, may I ask the reason for your, breaking in?
We heard a noise, a cry. We thought it was from your cabin.
That would have been impossible. There was nobody there.
Are you sure? We heard...
Of course I'm sure. There was no one here, I tell you. And now, gentlemen, if you don't mind...
Wyatt, before we go...
Yes, Mr. Allen?
Ask your wife to remove her veil.
Marjorie, would you please oblige the gentleman? My wife, Mr. Allen.
Your wife? But
she is beautiful, isn't she?
Yes. Yes, she is.
You, too, seem stunned.
Quite. Yes, quite. Captain Hardy, come. Thank you, Wyatt.
One moment, Captain Hardy.
Yes?
Would it be too much to ask for a new cabin door? This one seems to have suffered slightly.
I'll see to it.
Good night, gentlemen.
Hurry. To my cabin. His wife. Did you see his wife?
Yes. She was hideous.
His rave about her beauty. Why, he's mad, Captain. Hopelessly mad. She was horribly ugly. Yet she was familiar. I've seen her before. I know it. Where?
Did you notice the door leading to the adjoining cabin?
No.
It was open slightly. Someone could have left Wyatt's cabin and reached the passageway through the empty one next to it.
Hardy?
Yes?
Your hand.
Huh?
Covered with blood. Well, you must have cut it yourself when you fell. Here, let me wash it off.
No, it isn't cut.
Yes, but that blood.
It isn't mine.
Well, then where did you...
The Oblong Box, Mr. Allen. The Oblong Box.
What was behind this terrible mystery neither of us knew. We would inform the police as soon as we put to port. From then on, I saw nothing of Wyatt. 2 days passed since the incident in his cabin. And on the second day, Captain Hardy warned all the passengers of what was in store for us. We were forbidden on deck, confined to our cabins. We were being blown out to sea by a furious hurricane wind. On the fateful night, I was lying fully clothed on my bed. The sea was sickening. The ship was yawing terribly with each plunge. I was expecting the worst at any moment. Then suddenly, above the roar of the terrible gale, I heard a strange sound coming from the passageway before my cabin. I was a little bewildered at first. For a few moments, I sat there on my bed, wondering. And then...
Edgar! This is Wyatt! Do you hear me?
What is it?
I need your help, Edgar! I need your help!
Go back to your cabin, Wyatt. You hear? Get out of the passageway. It's dangerous. The ship may...
Please open the door. You must. You must help me. You're my friend, Edgar. Please.
Very well. What? Good heavens!
My box! I've got to get it on deck. I've got to. The ship may break in two at any moment. Please help me. I can't manage it alone. Please.
Well, you must be completely insane. The storm is too high. It's suicide, I tell you. You'll be blown overboard.
Just to the door. You don't have to go on deck. I have some rope. I'll lash myself to the stays. I'll be safe. Please.
Yes, but your wife. You can't leave your wife alone now. Go back to her. Snap out
Just
of it.
up the stairs. Please, Edgar. You're my friend. Please, Edgar, please.
Very well. To the top of the stairs.
The other end. Take the other end. That's it.
Go on. I have it. Hurry, it's heavy.
All right. Here. This way. Up these stairs.
I've got it.
Here. Don't drop it, Edgar. Don't drop it. All right. All right. A little further, Edgar. Just a little further. Now. There.
The Weird Circle on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Oh, come on, I hate you. You have no right to speak to me. You're stupid, you're evil. You believe in your God, guns, and gold. You shouldn't have the right to vote. We must fix this disgusting country now. We want socialism now.
Whoa there, little fella. Our U.S. Constitution protects your right to say these things, even if they are drivel.
Our founders believed in our inalienable rights granted by God, not some mafia. Our Bill of Rights protects your personal freedoms, your absolute right to speak to others, whether loving and kind or hateful and stupid.
Utopia doesn't exist. It only destroys. Millions of innocents slaughtered by the communists in Cambodia, China, and the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics.
And millions of people were gassed by Hitler's National Socialist Party.
Where do you stand? Help us save the Constitution and restore our American dream. Go to SaveMyFreedom.com. That's SaveMyFreedom.com.
Brought to you by the American Media Council.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of The Weird Circle and the Oblong Box, as it was originally broadcast February 18th, 1945.
This is as far as I go.
Oh, thank you, Edgar. Thank you. You don't know what this means.
Now, go back to your cabin.
I can't. I must get my box on deck.
Then I leave.
No, please. One other favor. Hold this hatch while I push the box out.
I beg you, Wyatt, use your head. The water will swamp us. Listen to it.
Please, Edgar, please.
Well, then, stand back. I'll open the hatch. I'm not responsible for you, you fool. Hurry! Confound you, hurry! We'll be swamped! For heaven's sake, Wyatt, you'll never make it! Wyatt, watch out! Come back, you fool, come back! I've got to close it! Come back! Close that hatch! Get back! Captain, here, help me close it quickly! In the heavens' name, hurry! Now, push!
What in thunderation were you doing?
Wyatt, he's out there. He took the box.
Good heavens, he's done for. No, it's too late to help him now. I'm afraid we're going to have to abandon ship. She's breaking. Starboard lifeboat, make for it.
Yes, but Mrs. Wyatt, she's below. She'll be killed. I'll get her first.
The starboard boat, Edgar. The starboard boat.
Mrs. Wyatt, to the boats. Mrs. Wyatt, we're sinking. Come on.
Mr. Allen, where is he? Where is he?
Hurry this way. Run.
No, wait, please. Please, listen.
In the name of heaven, woman, come on, quick. No time to lose. Oh, Mrs. Wyatt. Mrs. Wyatt! Then suddenly she disappeared before me. Water gushed down the passageway. She was swallowed by it. I struggled forward and made my way to the starboard boat. I jumped for the swinging davit and lowered myself as speedily as possible into the longboat. Captain Hartley joined me with 3 others of his crew. And then, just as we pushed out from the trembling mass of wreckage, I saw it. Hardy did too. Standing to aft, I
I saw Wyatt. He was binding himself tightly to the oblong box. He stood there for a moment. I thought laughing. Then in one brief instant he was gone with the ship. Into the sea.
And, that's all?
Yes.
I see. Would you gentlemen be so kind as to follow me? This should prove rather interesting. This way, gentlemen.
Captain, when did you find this box?
Yesterday afternoon. In here, please. Mr. Allen, hand me that lantern. And watch the stairs, please. They're rather sharp here.
Lead on.
Ordinarily, we would not have bothered with a floating body. It's generally some poor wretch from a wrecked vessel. However, due to the box and the peculiar circumstances, I thought it best to hoist it on board.
Yes, but the decomposition...
Oh, the salt water helped preserve them for a while. I thought we could reach New London safely with them. However, since we were blown off our course by that wind, it'll be a good day and a half before we reach land. I'm afraid I shall have to commit them both back to the sea. Mr. Allen, swing that door open, please, will you? Over there, in that corner.
Yes. Yes, that's the box.
Captain Hardy, would you kindly hold the lantern while I lift this blanket?
Certainly.
Is this the man you call Wyatt?
Poor devil. Hardly recognizable. Yes, that's Wyatt.
And now, Mr. Allen, if you would give me a hand with the top of this box. It had been firmly nailed, however, we pried it loose when we took it aboard. Just pull at that end carefully. Go.
Good heavens.
Even after 2 days at sea, death did not destroy that waxen beauty.
It's almost impossible. Still so beautiful.
You notice the wound over the heart.
Yes. Mr. Allen, that was the beauty Mr. Wyatt talked of.
Why, of course. This must have been his wife. But wait, the other Mrs. Wyatt. Oh, yes, of course. I knew I'd seen her somewhere before. The maid. Their personal maid. Yes, now I remember. She tried to tell me something before she drowned. Wyatt murdered his real wife.
If only we had done something sooner.
Murdered his wife? How could he? Why?
Insanely jealous. Terribly jealous. To die with her would be better than to live with her and her beauty. He planned to murder her on that trip when I saw them stowing that box. Remember the groans? She was murdered that night. The blood, it was fresh. Remember the tapping we heard as he nailed her in this coffin? Hardy, I think we'd better leave. Yes. Yes, Wyatt. Your wife is very, very beautiful.
no credits for any of the actors, just the fact that the Oblong Box, as you probably know, adapted from an Edgar Allan Poe story. The Weird Circle, as originally broadcast February 8th, 1945 on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just two of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, let's head down to Pine Ridge, Arkansas, an episode of Lum and Abner, February 18th, 1953.
And now, let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge.
Hello, folks. I'm Dick Huddleston. I guess you remember about the, well, I don't know what to call it. Anyway, the thing that Abner bought at an auction without intending to and without knowing what it was. Well, that's Abner for you. Now the old fellows have it over at the Jot 'em Down store, still trying to figure out what it is.
Abner, are you sure they ain't a set of directions with this thing, Summers?
I've looked everywhere and I can't find none.
Did you look in the box it come in?
Yeah.
Well, that's sure peculiar. You'd think surely with a contraption like this they'd send some instructions with it. I reckon some of this junk ought to be put together.
Yeah, I was thinking that, too.
Maybe if we could put it together, we could tell what it is.
Well, I don't know what goes where, though, Lum. That's the trouble. Sure is a batch of junk here. Wire, metal gadgets, I don't know what all.
Well, just looks to me like you might as well throw the dead blame thing away.
Oh, no, I ain't gonna do that. Want to find out what it is first. Want to know what I'm throwing away.
Grannies, Abner, you ought to be bored for the simples.
Huh?
Here, we just been back in business 2 days, and already you got everything all balled up.
Well, now, Lum...
Any feller that ain't got no more sense than to buy something he don't even know what it is ought to be locked up.
Lum, I told you I never aimed on buying it. I was just raising my hand to knock a fly off my ear, and the auctioneer claimed I was bidding.
Well, you oughtn't to have went to auction in the first place. And in the second... Wait a minute. What's the matter with us? I know what'll clear this up.
Well, good.
What did the auctioneer call it when he was auctioning it off?
Oh, yeah, sure. Why, that'd tell us, wouldn't it?
Why, of course it would. What a couple of ninnies we're.
Yeah.
What did he call it?
Well, to be honest, Lum, that fly was bothering me so much, I never paid no attention to what he was saying.
Oh, for goodness
Now, wait a minute, though. I do know what he called it.
Good.
He called it this next item.
Next item? Oh, for pity's sakes.
Something else he called it was a stupendous bargain.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
Now, there's another reason I don't want to throw it away, Lum. It's such a good bargain. Ain't often a feller gets a bargain like that.
Abner, think hard now. Try to recollect what he called it. He had to call it something.
Well, he said it was a war surplus item, I believe.
War surplus?
Yeah. Doggies, you don't reckon that's an Adams bond, do you?
No, of course not. No. Couldn't be.
I hope not.
Surely. I don't believe they auction them things off no way.
They don't, huh?
Besides, bombs are sort of round shaped, I think.
No.
This is square. Well, let's look through the box again for some directions of some kind.
Lum, it ain't no use. I've looked every place.
I wonder if we could have burned them up.
Burn them up?
Why, sure. You know, a lot of that stuff was wrapped in paper, and we throwed it in the stove. We might have thrown the directions in there, too.
Oh, my goodness, I never thought of that.
If you hadn't been so excited when you got it and started stirring around in the box, you might not have lost them.
Well, you was excited, too. Fact is, you and Cedric was the ones that drug out most of that stuff out of the box.
Yeah, no use to worry about that. That ain't going to help us none.
Good.
What we got to do is figure out just what this thing is. embarrassing having folks come in here and ask what it is and not know what to tell them.
Well, I don't know why they should care. You just tell them it's mine. I'm the one that has to tell them I don't know what it is.
I still think it's some kind of a radio, but I'll be dead blamed if I know how to work it. It's got a couple of dial things on there that looks like part of a radio.
Well, we ain't been able to get no programs on it, though. Looks more like a big machine that I seen in a doctor's office once.
No, I don't much think so.
No, I don't believe I'd buy one of them. I ain't sick. Cedric thinks it's some kind of a newfangled electric pinball machine.
For pity's sake.
We spent an hour this morning trying to put nickels in it.
Well, it ain't no pinball machine. I know that good.
Lum, what about the words that's printed on there? Don't they mean nothing?
Well, I reckon they do. It's more like the reason they put them on there.
That's good thinking on your part.
I noticed one place here it says volume. Down here it says voice. Just wondering if it's some kind of a jukebox.
Jukebox?
Yeah, they have them in restaurants, you know, and drugstores.
Yeah, but Lum, there ain't no place to put nickels in it. Or at least way Cedric couldn't find none. Of course, now, it might be the kind you have to put dimes in. A dime will go a lot of places that a nickel won't.
Yeah, that's sound reasoning.
Doggone, I hope it is a dime machine. That way we'd make just twice as much money.
Well, it ain't a jukebox. It ain't fancy enough. Besides,
Hey, wait a minute, Lum. Harley Ludson.
Harley Ludson?
Yeah, I ought to have thought of him in the first place.
What are you talking about?
Well, Lum, there's a feller that could tell us what this thing is. Yes, sir, old Harley Ludson.
Well, who in the world is Harley Ludson?
Oh, you recollect him? Tom Ludson's boy. Awful mechanicals minded. Knows all about machines and all that sort of junk. Yet when he was only 7-year-old, he'd taken his mama's electric washing machine clean apart, every cog in it. And he done it in 9 minutes and 27 seconds flat.
Granny, that's fast.
Yes,
He
sir.
must be a genius.
He is. Well, just to show it taken his mama 3 months to put it back together again. Just give you an idea how smart that boy was.
He was smart.
Oh, he was.
Or she was dumb one.
No, he was smart. He had a brain up there.
Well, do you reckon he could sure enough tell us what this contraption is?
Lum, there ain't a contraption in the whole wide world that he don't know the name of.
Well, then what are we waiting for? Granny, this is the best idea you ever had. Well, get on the phone there and get Harley over here.
Well, that's the trouble. I can't. Harley moved to Twin Falls, Idaho back in 1931. Or now was it 32?
Abner, someday I'm going to whop you right on top of the head.
No, it was 31.
I can beat bumps on your head faster than you can rub them.
Well, Elizabeth will know. I'll just call her up.
No,
there.
never mind. It don't matter when he moved. Now we're right back where we started. Got a white elephant on our hands for sure.
Oh, well,
Nothing. Just
what
skip
did
it.
you say? Well, I know it ain't no elephant, Lum, because it ain't even white.
I said skip it.
Oh, all right. Oh, wait a minute. There comes Squire Skimp heading over this way. I bound you, he'll know what it is. He knows everything.
Yeah, I know he does, but I sort of hate to come right out flat-footed and ask, Squire, tell you the truth. I feel kind of embarrassed. It ain't good for a man of my brains to look ignorant.
Well, I don't want to ask him neither. Special, because I own it, and I ought to know what I own.
Yeah. Maybe I can just sort of casual lead him into a conversation about it. Draw his attention to it, and he's bound to mention what it is.
What if he don't?
Well, don't worry, he will. I'll ask him some leading questions.
What kind of questions?
Okay, shut here you go. Well, howdy, Squire, old boy. Come on in.
Well, gentlemen, how are my good friends today?
Oh, just tolerably, Squire.
Proud to hear it, Lum. By the way, I brought that little insurance policy over, the one we discussed yesterday. Thought you might like to glance over.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, you can lay it right here on this gadget here.
Well, fine.
Do you think this gadget here is a good place to set it?
Oh, yes, Lum. Any place is fine. Now, I want to call your attention to Clause B, Section 5.
Squire, does this policy cover everything in the store? Like, for instance, this gadget here?
Oh, yes, certainly. I'll tell you what, Lum, I have another appointment. Why don't you look this over and sign it, and I'll pick it up later.
Better get to them leading questions, Lum.
Hey, shut Abner.
Well, I'll see you men later. Oh, great balls of fire. When did you get this thing, Lum?
Oh, yeah, I was wondering if you was going to notice that.
Where?
You mean thing here?
Why, yes. You're the last person in the world I'd ever expect to buy one of those.
Well, actually, it belongs to Abner.
To Abner? Well, that's even more surprising.
It is?
Yes, it looks like a good one, too.
Oh, yeah, it's a dandy. No doubts about that.
Why don't you stand it up? You got it lying on its back there.
Oh, yeah, sure. What's the matter with us?
Well, we just had it set that way temporary.
Yeah.
I remember once Mrs. Skimp and myself were shopping in a war surplus store, and we saw one of these. Mrs. Skimp didn't even know what it was.
For goodness sake.
It's ignorant.
What did you finally tell her it was, Squire?
Oh, I just told her what it was, that's all.
I see.
Yes, you know, a good one like this, if you take care of it, it'll last you a lifetime.
Well, that's nice.
What do you plan to use it for, Abner?
Well, I sort of planned, Mom, what was I going to use it for?
Oh, just regular stuff.
Yes, well, that's the way to get the most out of it, no doubt about that.
You ain't got any suggestions how we could use it, have you, Squire?
Well, you can tell that better than I can, Lum. You know what you want it for.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yes, you're going to get a lot of good out of that, man.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's a good hobby to have, and I think you're wise to take it up, Abner.
Well, thank you.
Well, I hate to rush off, but I got to. I'll be back for the polish after a while. So long.
Yeah, so long.
Yeah, so long. Doggies, he's a smart fella.
Oh, he's smart, all right. But we ain't no further ahead now than we was before. I don't see how he could have did all that talking and not mention the name of this thing just once.
Well, he might have told us if you hadn't acted like you knowed so dad blame much about it.
Me? You was the one that kept bowing and grinning and nodding your head. For goodness sakes, he's coming back.
Say, did I leave my pipe in here?
Why, I don't know. I'll look around here.
Squire, can I ask you a question?
Why, certainly, Abner, certainly.
Well, I hate to show my ignorance, but just what is this contraption?
Why, it's a shortwave transceiver.
Oh,
Oh,
sure.
yeah. What's the matter with us?
Here's my pipe right here. Well, I'll see you later, man.
Lum,
Yeah.
what's a shortwave transceiver?
I ain't got the least idea.
So they know what it is, and yet they still don't know what it is. You gotta love that. February 18th, 1953, Lum and Abner on Classic Radio Theater. If you take time to visit my webpage, classicradio.stream, you'll find all sorts of interesting things about old-time radio, how to build your own collection. You'll be able to contact me there, find our social media links, and you'll be able to stream our shows on demand. classicradio.stream. You can also find our shows on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the iHeartRadio app. I mentioned that, didn't I? But also on Amazon and on Audible. Just search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Please thank this radio station, support the advertisers, tell your friends that great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.